everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Tara with Mayhem Crafty Cards, and this is the card that we're going to make today. So this is from the Not2SHABBY shop, and it's called Spring is in the Air. And I added, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see the sparkle. Oop, too close. There we go. I added to the rainbow, the tops of the clouds, and the tops of the umbrellas. And I also added some glossy accents to the little puddle that they're jumping in, or big puddle, I guess. So for this card, what I did was I watercolored everything but the clouds. And I'm going to show you the products that I used for this before we begin. So, excuse me, my allergies are acting up today. So here is the Spring is in the Air, and it has the little bunny, a little duck, potted flowers, rainbows, umbrellas. So we're going to be using the duck and the bunny, and then the little sentiment, Spring is in the Air. And then I'm also going to use these Lawn Fawn die cuts. They're the puffy clouds. And they're just some simple puffy clouds. And we're also going to be using, excuse me, the little ink splotches from the Lawn Fawn, which one is this? Love Letter set. And I'm also, I used a couple sets, but they're just the really small pieces, and I'm sure you guys would have a set that had them in there. And we're just going to use the raindrops from the Follow the Rainbows from the Simon Says Stamp card kit for April, I believe. And I'm also going to be using this little pond. It's supposed to be an ice skating rink, I believe. But this is the My Favorite Things, You Make My Heart Spin. So this is the only part we're using for this. And I'm also going to be using the Arteza, the 36 watercolors. And this is one of my favorite palettes to use. I feel like it's got a good range. The only thing I really wish was there was a white. And I know it's, some people like the white and some people don't. I like it as a mixer to make some of my lighter colors, but then again, I just water them down since I don't have that white. I also used the ink on 3, black. This is black out detail ink, and I love this for watercoloring. I don't have to heat emboss. It's fantastic. And I think that is all. So I'm going to go ahead and get into coloring. I am going to fast forward this because watercoloring does take me a little bit of time to do. So, yeah, we're just going to speed this up a little bit just for the coloring part of it. But, I mean, they're just really simple colors, and I already had them stamped out. Not this one. We're going to use this one. So, basically, I'm just going to be doing the rabbit, the little chick, and the rainbow out of this set. And for the other ones, I'm going to just go ahead and stamp those on some more water paper color, just because I like to use like the same types of paper when I'm making my cards. So yeah, let's go ahead and get to watercoloring. And I probably will skip through some of this a little bit just because, I mean, it's pretty redundant coloring. So I probably won't leave it all in. I mean, the rainbow, I'm just going to do the basic, you know, Roy G. Biv. And just keep the little chick yellow and the bunny gray. So, yeah, not very exciting at all. But, I mean, it's so relaxing, and I really, really enjoy watercoloring right now. It's just, it's so peaceful. So sometimes what I do with my watercolors is I will take a water, oh my gosh, use your words, Tara, a water brush pen, and just kind of add a couple drops in the colors I want to use. I try not to soak the whole pan. I know some people like to use sprays. I don't know. I feel like I'm wasting color when I do that. Let's see, I think we're going to use orange. So we got 2 yellows. We're going to do the pink. So I just squeeze it just so I can get a couple drops. It just kind of activates the watercolor. And they activate super quick. So it's not like it's going to take forever for these to activate, even if you don't want to. If you just go in with a wet brush and do it that way. But I just find it handy just to use the water brush. Because, I mean, you really only need a couple drops of this. Alright guys, well I'm going to go ahead and start coloring, and I will see you when I'm done. Okay, so for my bunny, what I had to do was grab I only have one gray in this palette. So what I did was really, really watered it down. And I always keep like a scrap piece of watercolor paper when I'm doing this, just so I can see how light it's going to be. Because I don't want it to be super dark. Because then you just lose the, you know, aspect of the little bunny. So I will just keep adding and adding until I feel like it's a light enough color. And this is where I will come in with my spray and give it a couple squirts just to keep it so it's, you know, a little bit lighter. Because we don't want a dark gray bunny, we want a light gray bunny. So it usually takes a good couple sprays with just, and this is just regular water. But I want to get it diluted enough to where it's a very light gray. And I think that's where I'm at right now. So I'm going to keep this part in just to show you. Because he is, let me zoom you in a little bit. Scoot it up here. There we go. Because it's really hard to see right now because it is such a light gray. And I did this purposely because then I can just add more color if I need to. So I like to get this first washed down, and then I will go back and see, okay, well, it's, you know, it's not picking up, it's too light, nobody's going to be able to tell it it's a gray bunny. So I do try to work in layers with watercolors. It just makes it a little bit, you know, easier to add, because you can't take away. I mean, you can try to, but then it just looks a little messy. So, and this is like really easy. He's really easy to color. I mean, there's really not a whole lot to coloring him, which is a good thing. And I love how playful these guys are. I have a thing for like little chicks. They're so darn cute. And they just make you, well, they make me smile when I see them. just because they're so tiny. So, and don't forget their ears. Like, I made that mistake the first time. Not for this ear, but for the ear kind of peeking behind the umbrella. I almost forgot that it was back there. So I'm going to add just a little bit of gray to his tail. Not a lot. I want to keep him kind of, you know, keep his tail a little white. So that gray is, to me, is a really good gray because now I can add layers if I need to. If I feel like I want to add a little shadow, just little touches here and there. And you can see my chick, he's pretty bright, but I'm going to add a darker yellow to that as well, just to give it a little bit more texture, because they're fluffy and they have to have a little bit of texture in them. So what I do is I'll load my brush up a little bit, and then I just make like little dots. Sorry about my dogs. Okay, so I went ahead and cut all the pieces out with my brother's Scan and Cut, which I could not live without. There's no dies for these, so it makes it a lot easier to get them cut out without. I hate fussy cutting. I am not a fussy cutter by any means. So what I'm going to start to do is I want to start placing my clouds. And how I did this was I just used the Moonstone from Fawn and the Manatee. And I just used the Manatee on the bottom and then Moonstone on the top. So I'm going to kind of line them up how I think they should be and take my rainbow and kind of tuck it behind there. So the rain will be falling, of course, from the Manatee side. And I'm going to take a little bit of squeezed lemonade and make a little sun back here. So I like to line my clouds up first just so I can see where that's going to go. And I just blend this in there. So it doesn't matter really how big it is because some of the clouds are going to cover it up, and they're meant to. So I'm going to pop these up with some foam squares, and I love these little foam squares. These are fantastic. These are scrapbook adhesive. They're just the little tiny, and they're the black ones. So I just take them on my cloud and load them up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I almost forgot to color the little puddle, and I just mixed a blue and a gray together and watered it down a lot. So now we're going to go ahead and place our little critters down, and I'm just going to use regular liquid adhesive because it's watercolor paper, so it's pretty thick, and I want something strong. That's why I'm putting a ton of glue on there. I want to place him where it looks like he's right inside the puddle. And these will pop up, so you got to make sure that you press them, you know, down really hard, or lay a block on top of them, or even your Misty. So I got my clouds laid out. I got my rainbow tacked down. So this is just the last little bit to do before it's finished. Now I will add the glossy accents later, just because it does take a good bit to dry, but I will show you on my finished card what that looks like. So now I'm going to take the sentiment Hello Spring and the where did it go? Well, I used Right Persimmon Distressed Ink last time, but it seems to be hiding from me. So let me see if I can find it here in my Boxo ink. There it is. And I just like the Right Persimmon because it's nice and bright. So I just took my stamping block, and I do try to stamp this out first to see what it's going to look like, because sometimes, especially with newer stamps, you want to make sure you kind of, I guess, prime them. That's how I think about it. So it's leaving me a good impression. So I'm going to go ahead, fingers crossed, because I'm not using my Misty. and see if I can get this on here. And then once you kind of get it down, you just kind of have to roll with it at that point. Oh no. See if I can line her back up. Probably not. Nope, but that's okay. That's not a big deal at all. You can always cover that with embellishment. But it's supposed to say spring is in the air. So other than the little raindrops, this is the card. Let me grab the finished card so I can show you guys what it looks like. So I don't know if you can see all that shimmer and all the little raindrops, but that's the only thing that I didn't add. And here's the spring is in the air. So that's what it's supposed to look like. So I just want to do something super cute and, you know, sparkly. It's finally nice outside here in Ohio. I actually found something new to listen to while I'm crafting. So I usually watch YouTube videos while I'm crafting, but sometimes I can get distracted. So I decided to download some audiobooks. And I didn't think I was going to like it, but so I downloaded books I've already read. Just one, just so I could see how it is, and that's all I've been listening to now, is these audiobooks. And it's great because it's just background noise for me. So I want to say thank you guys so much for watching. Everything I use will be down in the description box below, and I hope you guys have a great week. Till next time, bye.